There was something about a client who was a closeted gay man and soliciting prostitution on behalf of that financial client as well.
Right. So some information that came out was there was a rumor that one of his early wealthy clients was a closeted gay man who did not want this to get out. And the rumor is that Epstein was setting up some sexual liaisons for this guy, and that this guy invested a lot of money into Epstein and introduced him to a lot of other people. So for me, that sort of set a precursor to a business model that he could have. Boy, if I get information on these people they don't want out, will they invest a lot of money with me?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of an interesting piece of it. Again, these were rumors. There was nothing confirmed.
Could be a sort of a proof of concept for what you've called an extortion-based business model.
Right. You know, that's what was interesting to me. Did he learn this early on? With these wealthy people, they want to do things they don't want out. And if I help provide that to them, will I get some financial reward for this?
So will I get this financial reward for this? Let's say he does, but then the motive still, as we've talked about, to just
Yeah.
be a rich guy doesn't seem that exciting. It's when he's already a very rich guy.
Right.
More about power and control. Does it sort of cancel it out?
I think it develops, right? I mean,
Okay.
originally, if your motive is to become a rich guy and you become a rich guy, it looks like he didn't really have much interest in being famous. You become the rich guy, and then you don't really need money anymore, and you have all these people who are your friends. Do you move that up? Is the money just not doing it for you anymore? Are you not getting that sort of psychological payoff? So if I move it up a little bit and know that I have control over or power over these very wealthy, very famous people, is that a psychological payoff? I guess we'll never know because we can't ask him about that.
Jeff, what else from this case do you think is important to discuss?
Well, I mean, obviously, another thing that sort of strikes me is when we get into the trafficking and the victims. And there is, in my opinion, it's a good thing that we're focusing on them and what they went through and how this could go on for so long and be so extensive from what we're learning. And that there were a lot of people who, not just who participated, but other people who probably just turned a blind eye to it. And again, you're hearing this in other circles, like celebrity circles and, the sexual abuse that's going on. And I call it abuse. If you're a powerful studio executive and you have a young actress or actor in front of you and you're asking for sexual favors to help their career, in my opinion, that's abuse, But we know this goes on in some of these other circles of rich and powerful people. So that's disturbing, right? And these rich and powerful people, if they're complicit in knowing that this is going on and they think that's not a big deal and they still are involved, that's a little disturbing when you think about what that means for our society, particularly in those social groups of overly rich and overly powerful people.
Dr. Jeff, looking ahead with this case, what are you looking forward to? I mean, we'd all like to see more transparency, I think, but what are you particularly interested in as this continues to evolve?
I'm still continuously interested in the government's response and how they're dealing with this. And the idea that, there are supposedly a lot more records that are not being revealed. And there's arguably, and some people are arguing, that the government is trying to basically cover up the identity of certain people that have been involved in this. What's real interesting is other governments, particularly the UK, getting involved, right, with Andrew. And I think they just arrested another person. And what are they going to demand from the U.S. government? Is Britain going to say, we want to see all the Epstein files because we want to see what else our people may have disclosed? And are there going to be other governments that are it's becoming geopolitical, which is kind of crazy, right? Are other governments going to want to get involved and say, well, one of our people hung around with Epstein. What was he disclosing to Epstein? So that'll be an interesting development to watch, the geopolitical aspect of this whole Epstein case, which started out with a rich guy in Florida, getting massages and molesting teenage girls.
To go even deeper on these ideas, you can watch my full episode using the link in the description or the box on the screen.